Hey, so Creature Commandos, I'm finally done. I think I did a video where I talked about the first 2 episodes, and now I'm finally done. 7 episodes. Is it the Suicide Squad, but with creatures, with more creatures? Yes, there's a bit of that, but if I was to give this out of 5, I'll give this a 4.9 out of 5. I think it's perfect. It's so well written. I know James Gunn has a lot of haters. There are a lot of people who don't like James Gunn. I don't know what the beef with him is, but whatever you say about James Gunn, when it comes to writing characters, he's one of the best working in the industry today. He's fantastic when it comes to writing such deep characters when they do not need to be actually deep characters. They need to be surface level, but he just gives so much layers to these characters that you can't just, I can't help but admire his style of writing and just give him respect for how he's able to flesh out characters. Give them arcs that people like myself can relate to, despite the fact that these are just, monsters. They're jailed monsters. They're not supposed to be anything, And even I think there's a comment that is made about that by Nina. That they're not that big of stuff. They're just, they're just monsters. And I thought he did a fantastic job with this. I was surprised, man. Tin Man, man, what he did with Tin Man is awesome, man. Cheers to the Tin Man. I thought that was pretty effective. That was so well done and tragic in a way. Watching Tin Man, I kept thinking of Rambo. You remember First Blood, Rambo? I just kept thinking about that because it really connects with that very well. The idea of a soldier out of time, or a soldier who comes back to a world that he does not recognize, and they just craving that one thing, which is killing Nazis. I thought that was fantastic. The way it's written, number one, the way it's edited into the show, and how they choose to treat each episode, I thought it's absolute genius. When it comes to just, GI is just, Tin Man or GI is just, it's just a robot that is hell-bent on actually killing Nazis. That's all. But he does something with that just makes such an intriguing story that you feel for this little something. Even when whatever happens to him happens, I felt myself feeling for him. Yes, Nina is involved, but I thought I felt a lot for him because of what he has been through throughout the century, what he was looking forward to, and getting his moment. Anyway, I'm talking too much about Tin Man. Actually, talking about Tin Man, there's an episode in 1960s whereby one scientist took and broke him down and was trying to create another machine, another human or robot thing. I wonder what James Gunn was doing with that. I don't know who's that supposed to be. Is that going to be Metallo in the future? Is that Man of Steel, not Superman, the real Man of Steel? I'm so curious to see who that character is going to be. But generally, the Bride is pretty awesome. Frankenstein's obsession with the Bride is so well done throughout the show. His motivation is clear. Frankenstein's motivation is clear from the word go. And they're able to they took Frankenstein to some places that I never thought that they were going to take that character. The gypsy old lady, man, that was so painful to watch. Okay, it's heartwarming at first, but whatever happens to her is so heartbreaking, and which goes into the nature of this show. Some things are just so heartbreaking, yet these characters are creatures, but they're just so heartbreaking that it broke my heart watching some scenes. There was a particular episode with Weasel, when you get to understand where he's coming from. That was extremely heartbreaking, and how the world chose to look at him. I hope that we're going to have another season, but a longer season, like 45-minute episode. But generally, I thought, wow, he was able to actually make us feel for these particular, creatures. The other thing that I absolutely loved is the story. The story in itself is not, the primary story is not obvious. At first you think you understand what's happening, then they twist it, and then you understand, you think what's happening, then you see now the mistake and you think it's going there, and it gets to a point where you go like, yeah, the show is very, very unpredictable. With a particular princess, I like the fact that up to the end, it remains mysterious. And even when you get that moment at the end, it's kind of cathartic. Yes, you couldn't quite tell whether she was a villain or the good guy. But with that revelation at the end, I thought that was pretty interesting. I just wish it was better explained, but I thought it was pretty interesting that I was unable to predict where they were going to take it. At first, I thought it was going to through a certain direction. There are some characters like Clayman that is treated in a very interesting way. I like what they did with Phosphorus and the idea of Gotham and obviously the introduction of Batman. I would want to see how Batman actually was able to arrest him, because according to me, the most dangerous character in that group is Phosphorus, because I don't think you can actually interact. I don't see him being the kind of character that you can contain, because that guy is literally fire. He will burn you, and he has a very tragic backstory. And that idea of him flipping to become the head of crime, yes, it's set up so well, but I didn't think it was justified. But I liked what they did with the particular girl at a particular point. The fact that they did not take his character a certain way because he had become this thing. I like the fact that he was able, there's still a sense of human to him that remains somewhere. Yeah, so basically that's it. Amanda, yeah, staying consistent with Suicide Squad, that's where everything comes together. But generally, Creature Commandos is awesome. Yeah, it's one of the best animated show out there. It's very, very enjoyable. I like the fact that they used it to set the world, the new DC that James Gunn is setting up. Because there's a scene that you see the princess, Amanda is given this vision of the future, and you see a particular scene. If you've read The Death of Superman, there are a lot of things that you see there that are familiar. The imagery, what damn, what she does with the superheroes, it's pretty amazing. It's very, very exciting. I don't know if it's going to go that direction, but whatever they showed, I thought was very, very interesting. That vision was very, very interesting, reminding me of Zack Snyder, reminding me of what the Zack Snyder was doing, teasing a bit of the future. So, if you're thinking about Creature Commandos, it's worth your time. Yes, it feels a bit short. It feels extremely short, but it's perfectly paced. It's perfectly short. Some directors, I saw Sam Liu. Sam Liu is one of my favorite directors, like of all times, because of his animated work. He knows how to direct animated movies, and this time shows. So I was pretty happy to see his name, and I could actually recognize some action set pieces and go like that setup, the cinematography. That has to be someone that I know, and yes, it was Sam Liu. So this is a fantastic show. If you haven't seen it, give it time, give it a try. Even if you hate James Gunn, just give it a try. It's a very, very interesting story. There are a lot of episodes that are hard to watch, heartbreaking, but generally, it's a fantastic show. So basically, that's it. Remember to always watch what you enjoy and enjoy what you watch. I shall see you on the next one. Adios.